It's going down like this, motherfucker.
This shit is crazy. The following...
Nigga get mad. Say, motherfucker, what you mean you ain't gonna let me in this funky joint? Much money I done spent in here, nigga. I knew your mama when she was hoeing. Hump, baby. Shit, bet I do it over time. Fade that, nigga. Shit. Bet the ball. Off time. Shit, boy, I'm trying to make me some money. Boy, I'm hungry as a hog needs. Slap Jesus. Shit, gotta be a Jesus, cause too many black folks.
My bitches. You saying you can't control your bitches? What? You got to have vision.
Limousine, and every time I'm seen, I got to be clean.
For what he has, he says that the only way that we can solve our problem is to unite together among ourselves, among our own kind, clean ourselves up, rid ourselves of the evils that we've become addicted to here in this society, and try and...
Yes, he destroy black boys. If you destroy him as a boy, he'll never become a man. Yes, he destroy black boys. Yes, he destroy black boys. Yes, he destroy black boys. If you destroy him as a boy, he'll never become a man.
This ain't loud enough. I'm still trying. This ain't loud enough. I'm still trying.
I just left a lot in this bitch. I'm finna hit the shop in this shit.
You hear what I said?
Yes, bitch, I heard you. I'm pretending like I didn't.
Yeah, well. Gotta get a piece of my magic. A little bit magic.
Hey, where are the white women at?
Your feet. He looked down, seen his feet. The nigga went berserk, killed the monkey, threw the bat out the window, start kicking that bitch in the air.
Say anyway, but I will. The way quantum entanglement works is that you can take two particles, quantum entangle them, and then take those two particles and move them at any distance in the cosmos. And let's just say, for example, if you quantum entangle two electrons and you have them spinning in the same direction, and then you take one of those electrons and you shoot that thing out 100,000 light years from the original. If you then rotate the spin on the one electron, if you modify it so that its spin changes, the quantum entangled electron at any distance will simultaneously, in no time, switch its rotation also, because they're quantum entangled. So these communication systems are taking advantage of this aspect of quantum mechanics that most people can't wrap their heads around, and this is what they're utilizing. It's just the new level of science that affords us the ability to communicate at any distance instantaneously.
You don't understand. It's cool enough just being cool, like I am, chilling.
Group of you together, you never can tell who's who. I've seen a lot of black guys, Nipsey, but you're overdoing it.
My eye, plus I'm in love with a bitch I can't stand.
I mean, TikTok. A lot of the white content creators on TikTok get all of their dances from the black content creators.
You're a philosopher? Yes. You're a philosopher? Yeah. You're a philosopher? Yes. I think very deeply. I think very deeply.
First you tell us that it is manly to keep your word. All right? If you are a man, you keep your word. And now all that the black people in this country are demanding, and even the black people in the whole world are demanding, is that you keep your word. You told us we were free. Well then, show us that we're free. You told us that there is justice, equality for all in this country. Well then, stick to your word and let us see the justice and equality for all. Or else admit to us that you're not a man, you're a worm, you're afraid of us, you're afraid to give us equal stand. You're afraid that if you give us equal ground that we will match you and we will override you. And if that's what you're afraid of us, then tell us that just what you're afraid of. But don't keep hiding it from us and holding this up to us, and every time we ask you for something, you give us a little bit of something, and it's all tokenism. We don't want tokenism. And there are most black men in this world that don't want charity. And yet still every time we ask you for something, you give us a little piece, a little piece. You're playing games with us. We're not children. We're big men. I've seen my father have to put up with all kinds of stuff. He was a big man. He raised a family. He went down south, and he had to go around to the back door with his wife. We're not asking for anything. We're not asking for any favors. All we want is what's ours. Now, there are many black veterans who are coming back, and they're mad. They're angry. Do you think that they're going to sit down through this? Our fathers didn't have the knowledge that we had. They sat through it. But there are other black youth that are not going to sit through it. We know about Che. We know about Fanon. We've read the books of revolution. We've listened to Mao and his quotations. We know where we stand. We're not going to sit for it. We're asking, and if we ask and we don't get, we're prepared to stand up and take it. If I ask a man, I tell a man I am hungry. I tell him I am cold. And I ask him to do something about my condition. And this man holds a loaf of bread right in front of me so I can see it, and I keep asking him, I'm begging him to please give me a slice of the loaf of bread. I am hungry. Then it is known by every psychologist that the next step in the progression is I am going to knock him upside the head and take the bread from him. I'm not going to starve to death.
Physical and mental torture. But that's all right, because we said even before this happened, and we're going to say it after this, and after I'm locked up, and after everybody's locked up, that you can jail revolutionaries, but you can't jail a revolution. Right. You might run a liberator like Harris Cleave out the country, but you can't run liberation out the country. You might murder a freedom fighter like Bobby Hutton, but you can't murder freedom fighting. The party that they can do anything they want to us. We might not be back. I might be in jail. I might be anywhere. But when I leave, you can remember I said with the last words on my lips that I am a revolutionary. And you.
Dance with me. Oh, yeah. Dance with me. Oh, yeah.
Damn white boys out there. Most of them is psychopaths and all that. They'll kill your mama's mama. And you.
Decent white folk that still don't know they're racist.
What the hell you want here, hunky? You got to pray to God and tell God your rent due. Any God that didn't know your rent was due ain't God.
Some people, they feel like you almost have to sell your soul to get fame, or is it just hard work, or is it luck, is it consequence, is it?
No, most of us in sold our soul. We just called it something else.
What's all that noise? Oh, that's his daddy.
Don't know me, want it. I don't mean to be out of line. I mean to be rude. I don't mean to be out of line.
Come with baggage, just not answer the way what's on.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah, that was nice.
I like that.
Bitch niggas, hoe niggas, rich niggas, broke bitch. I told niggas this was on, yeah, right here.
Your lines are still open. Oh shit, you can get it, nigga. You wanna get it?
The Chinese platform, you already know. The Chinese platform, you're the Chinese platform. You already the Chinese platform. You already know they don't give a fuck about your black ass. And then
I think we OD.
To my word, can't be my equal, don't know what you heard. That's the difference when you're my baby.
Used to snort cocaine, now I fiend for the check, yeah. Used to snort cocaine, used to snort cocaine, used to snort cocaine.
Heavy, I'm a walking dead man, is what they call me when I'm coming. I hit the loot juice, and pulls up in the dude. Heavy, I'm a walking dead man, is what they call me when I'm coming. I hit the loot juice, and pulls up in the dude.
Like I said, you go to the history of European civilizations. 250 years is how long they last before they implode because of their greed, because of their violence, because of an inability to let others be, including themselves. If they didn't have brown and black people to hate, they would hate themselves.
Do that dance, baby, do that dance, let's work it out. Nigga. Nigga. Do that dance, baby, do that dance, let's work it out.
No idea the condition that we're in, the psychoneurosis that we suffer. We suffer terrible, terrible blight. We don't know who we are. We use European names, and we just are comfortable with our condition. We really don't know who we are. We have no idea. We're captive, and we're absolutely comfortable with this situation.
Greetings. This is Big Pontiac, and welcome to the Chocolate Mountain Show. I am the holder of the infinite sacred ball game that was created by the Hero Twins, and I am that one and only Galactic Daddy-O, welcoming each and every one of you to my galactic patio that reaches from Minnesota to the universe. Well, as the guy said, this is Big Pontiac, and what's happening? Hope everyone is cooling tonight. Hope everybody is well. Hope everybody feels good. And everything that you're preparing, whatever you're preparing for this month, I hope it's going the way you prepare it, baby. You know? So it's good to be back. Since Sunday, come over and talk to the peoples, because it's the peoples and we got to get with the peoples. And let's say what's happening to the peoples that are here. PJ Allen, what's happening?
You can't get too close to Michael, it's a foul.
Dr. Sinister.
You can't get too close to Michael, it's a foul.
Jamal.
You can't get too close to Michael, it's a foul.
Johnny.
You can't get too close to Michael, it's a foul.
And everyone else that comes, watches it whenever you get to check it out. Welcome. This is the Pick'em show. So every Wednesday I come on before the Thursday game and speak on my predictions for the week. Now last week I ended up 8-5 because I did lose the Chiefs game, the Cowboys game, the Cowboys and the Bengals. I lost that game, so that made me 8-5. So for the year, I am 141-61 for the year. And so getting right into the picks, Rams, 49ers, I'm going to wait on that one. Saints and the Commanders, I think the Commanders will play a little better this week. So I'll go with the Commanders. Still like them. Chiefs and the Browns, I'm going with the Chiefs on the road. Bengals and Titans. Now, this is a toss-up because, the Bengals are so inconsistent, but I think the Bengals will win this one. They look pretty good. Again, they're playing a slightly better team than the Cowboys, but I think the Bengals will come on the road. Dolphins and the Texans. I think the Texans pull it off at home. Giants and the Ravens. I say Ravens win. Jags and the Jets. Man, I don't know how the Jags lost last week. I think, gosh, this is a toss-up. I'm going to have to wait on that one too. Cowboys and Packers or Panthers? Let's see. Must be Panthers. Cowboys and Panthers. I'm going to go Cowboys on the road because they played good enough to win. Last week, really. Wasn't for that stupid dude touching the ball. And like when you have a block punt and it goes downfield, it's a fire. It's an automatic fire call. That means everybody get the fuck out the way of the ball. So that shows you it was fixed. They was in his helmet say, "Oh, go try to get it." And make sure you don't. So Chargers and Bucks, I'm staying on the Chargers, even though they lost last week. I think they're going to win at home. Broncos and Colts, I say Broncos win at home. Cardinals and Pats, I say Cardinals win at home. Lions and Bills, I got Lions at home. Steelers and Eagles, I think this is Thursday night game. No, maybe this is, no. So, I'm taking the Eagles. And then we got the Packers and the Seahawks. I'm going with Packers on the road. Vikings and Bears, which I think is the Thursday night game. No, Thursday night games must be Rams 49ers. Bears and Vikings. Monday night game. The Monday night game is Bears and Vikings. Wonder what the tickets is going to be like for that game. I got the Vikings at home and Raiders, Falcons. I'd say the Falcons will beat the Raiders. Now going back up, the Jets and Jags. I don't know how the Jags won last week, but the Jets are terrible. That's why I'm picking the Jets to win on the road. And then going back to the 49ers and Rams. The Rams are so inconsistent, but I'm going to go to Rams on the road. So this week I got Rams, Commanders, Chiefs, Bengals, Texans, Ravens, Jets, Cowboys, Chargers, Broncos, Cardinals, Lions, Eagles, Packers, Vikings, Falcons. And I'm 141 and 61. So that's my best analyzing how the week should go. So, Dolphins over Texans, Colts over Broncos. Not confident in the CJ Stroud. Yeah, God, not really. Dolphins have better talent, and Tua's better than Stroud. That's a good point. Who did I say? Did I pick the Commanders over the Dolphins? Texans at home. Yeah, you know what? You might have switched me to the Niners over the Rams. The Niners own the Rams. That's a good point. Rams are back healthy. Yeah, I'm sticking. But Dolphins have better talent, and Tua is better than Stroud. They have. You know what? I might go with you on that one. Because the Dolphins have been playing well, and the Texans have kind of been. So yeah, I think I will switch that one. I'm gonna talk shit if no. I think you got a good point there. The Dolphins have a little better team. I think they need to make a comeback somewhere because the Texans have played so good in the first half of the season, but then they just fell out. Did you guys check out the hoop games tonight? The first game was the Knicks. Let's get this right. Knicks and gosh, who was playing the Knicks? Knicks were playing. Gosh, who did the Knicks play tonight? I should know this one. Just watch the game. Knicks and Atlanta. Yeah, Atlanta. Knicks and Atlanta. And did you notice the first half? The Knicks couldn't do any wrong in the first half, and then Atlanta came and blew them out in the second half. Did y'all peep that? Benji, what's happening? Benji, yeah.
You can't get too close to Michael. It's a foul.
Did y'all check? Yeah, the Hawks. Thank you. But did y'all check that out? The Knicks was killing them in the first half, and in the second half, the Knicks fell apart. I was like, now look at this. How you gonna play so bad? But I must say that as much as I didn't like Towns, Timberwolves aren't as good. They really aren't as good without him. Randall is a ball stopper. Randall doesn't really play D. He has nice size, but he doesn't really play D. He needs to pound the ball inside. He's not really an outside shooter. So I thought the trade was odd for what they got back. I thought the trade was odd for what they received. But yeah, so that game was funny. And then the second game was the same way. Now remember, it was Houston and Golden State. Now, we saw the same thing. Now remember, Green, remember halftime Charles Barkley said that Green should be averaging 20 points, and I think he averages 16. And he said Green should have 20, because I think Green he had 10 points in the first half. He didn't hardly play in the third quarter at all. And he missed most of the fourth quarter. But the last 2-3 minutes, I think Green ended up with 10, 12 points. 10, 12 points. Like, why did they sit him out so long? He didn't appear to be hurt. But you know what the tell was? That last time out when they had 3.5 seconds, if you looked on the bench, you could see that they were scripted to lose. I don't even know if any of y'all picked that up. Lobo, if you ever see this, did you pick that up? When they showed that shot on the bench, you could see that they lost. You could just see it in their expression that they were scripted to lose. Again, the egghead man in the little room with the multiple TVs, as I've said before, probably multiple eggheads by now, with all the betting going on. They sit in the room, they're like, yeah, we're going to have them get this L. And so we're going to have two newer, and they're pushing the newer blood too. They're kind of pushing the newer blood, so that's why we had that. Warriors sold out on the foul, and Curry could have couldn't hold the ball, could have held the ball, made it a better shot, and won the game. Yeah, I don't know. I just think they were picked to lose. That's what it looked like to me. Because if you looked when they showed Houston sideline, the emotions on their face, I was like, oh, they're gonna win. And I told my wife, I said, watch Golden State not make it, because they had plenty of time. But like the one thing I've said about Curry is, again, it goes into the shoes. When you don't test the shoe out, he had problems. You could see he's a step slower. He was covered up in the Olympics by talent, and he ain't had to really play a lot of D. Now, a lot of times, like, did you see when, what's his name, Brooks backed him down and Brooks scored over him easy? And I was like, wow, why don't they keep doing that? Why don't every time they come down and give it to Brooks? Because it didn't look like they was giving Curry any help. But then there was another play where what they switched Green, Van Fleet. They switched Van Fleet on Green. I'm like, oh, they wanted Green to score. It was like, that was such a dumb switch. It didn't make any sense. And I guess you could look at it from the offensive side. It was a good, offensive set to go at him like that. So, yeah, so it was an entertaining game. We'll see them next Tuesday. We'll see them, I guess, is when the championship is. Saturday is the semifinals. And again, they're trying to, if you don't understand how they play basketball in Europe, they play tournaments. That's how they play. They go all over Europe and play tournaments. Their leagues are more of a tournament type of thing than a full league. You go to different places and you play a tournament. And that's how, like those of you that play in money tournaments, it's the same thing. You go to different towns and you like I said before, sometimes we'd have to put up 2,000-3,000 and then we would play for the pot. So, if it was 10 teams that put up
3,000 a piece, normally it would be, the people putting on the tournament would get a little bit, but you going for like 25 grand, you know? You're going for like 25 grand that you split before your guys. And so that's kind of the same thing. And you be at a gym all day playing, different games or over 2 days, So, and that's what the NBA is trying to go through. And then I guess the All-Star game is going to be pickup teams. I heard something like that. And it's like, what do they expect? That's what I said. It's just like with them pretty much getting rid of the Pro Bowl. The Pro Bowl is for what? I mean, it's a sport. Like, remember, and even doing stupid things. It was the dude who was Rookie of the Year for the Patriots right before their big run. And he tore his knee up playing football. He tore his knee up playing football in the sand. And he was out for a couple years, and then they let him come back and get a couple seasons in. Maybe got his pension money. I don't quite remember. But it's like it doesn't. It's no reason to have the football Pro Bowl. It should be something like flag, because football is too violent of a sport. And remember the year after they played like when Allen was the end for the Vikings, Jared Allen, the players that got together and said, we're not killing each other. And they didn't. And the Goodell was pissed. I don't remember what year that was. It was like 11 or 12, maybe 15. I forget. But they was like, yeah, we're not killing ourselves. Then the next year they made them kill themselves. Remember, you had one player, like they did like basketball, they switched squads, and one dude nailed. Goodell must have put boot to ass, because he nailed his teammate. And again, this is an exhibition game. So it's really no way to make an exhibition game any better. Not really, not really. So that's what it's supposed to be. That's what people want. An exhibition game, people want defense. And I don't want to hear that shit in the 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s. They took it more seriously. No, they didn't. I've been watching the All-Star games since at least 67. Because Chet Walker, the year, when Wilt won it, at least 67. I've watched the All-Star game. And they never played hard like that. It was never like the same intensity of a regular season game. And of course, as the players made more bread, it's funny, the players that don't make the All-Star game, they go on vacation and they have like a 4 or 5 day vacation. So it's a prestige thing that you want a prestige and you want to be able to say you're All-Star. But hell, what was his name? Christian Laettner was an All-Star. He was a one-time All-Star, but he was still All-Star. So tell me, how big of a, it's all pro. That's the real award, is how many All-Pros. That's what puts people in the Hall of Fame. It's how many years were you All-Pro. So, Lorenzo, what's up in the SIP?
You can't get too close to Michael, it's a foul.
The NBA is trying to put emphasis on the regular season, but it is not working because they don't build up the younger players for us to look into their teams, and they're on, what I'm saying. Yeah, they don't. And the league is getting so young. That's the other part of it, and that's why you see a lot of these old dudes hanging on, because the league is really young. If you look at a lot of these cats, they still young. I think Towns is 26. So, it's a lot of still young cats in the league. So, and I think that's why they slowly switch. But like, look at the script for Ant. Ant ain't dominating. Ant ain't getting them beautiful plays like he did last year. Again, the team is struggling. So kind of hard to see, how they doing. So it's a different game. I'm glad, I wouldn't even be opposed to getting rid of the 3-point shot. I really wouldn't go back to the way it used to be, because it is really boring watching them clunk shots. Clunk, 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 clunk. Like one time I was watching one of the games tonight, and it was like almost 5 minutes they didn't make a three, and they kept shooting them. And like, I'm like, it takes away from the mid-range player from one. I mean, you look at people like George Gervin, he was mid-range. Bernard King, excuse me. Bernard King would give you 50, 60. What, he's the only cat with back-to-back 50 nights? And he was all mid-range. And the truth, about to say a spell. And if you looked at Kobe's game, again, copy of Michael Jordan, mid-range. Where did Michael Jordan get a lot of his points? In the post. Michael Jordan would post somebody in a minute, and so would Kobe. Kobe did the same thing Mike would. Mike would, run in the triangle. You get that post position right there, and that's where Michael would put a lot of work in, going to the basket. Same way with Isaiah. Isaiah probably had to. I would say I don't know who. It's a tie between Isaiah and Pete Maravich on who had the best handles. I can't really put Isaiah over Pete Maravich because Pete was definitely a stronger scorer, and a better shooter, a better all-round shooter. But Isaiah's handles and going to the basket was a little more, I can't say superior, but his will to go to the basket, I think he was a better going to the basket player, shooting layups. Pete was kind of mid-range and deep. What did they say? If they would have had they went over the films, and if Pete Maravich would have had the 3-point shots, his college average would have been 53 points a game. Which now still nobody will pass 44 points a game. They may have beat the total points, but they ain't gonna beat that 44 points a game. And if he'd have had the 3-point shot, they did the film, he would have had 53 points a game. So better outside shooter. Nothing much. My high school alma mater football team made it out of first state championship game, but we lost by a touchdown. Oh man, okay, that's a heartbreaker. That is a heartbreaker. That's a heartbreaker. I was trying to go to Michigan last week because they dedicated the court to my high school coach, and I wanted to drive. I just wanted to drive. I mean, my wife looked into flying before I even thought about it. And then Michigan got hit with a snowstorm. And by the time I tried to get tickets, because it was like, I still had planned to drive. Like Wednesday, I think I was saying I was still kind of looking to drive, but they were starting to get hit with that storm. And so, I didn't really want to fly into the town when it was like that. They got winter. We got now this is a good pivot, as Sly says. Let me show y'all this shit here. Look at this. It is -5 here. The wind chill factor feels like it's -25. -5 tomorrow. It's going to be, I think they said 8 above zero tomorrow. Yeah, so it feels like -29. And I be trying to tell my daughter and stuff, she's so hard-headed, she doesn't want to wear coats outside. But I'm like, honey, if it's something happens, and I try to tell my son the same thing. If something happens to the car and you're dealing with this or that, they tell you to take blankets and extra shit and candles. You know how warm a candle can make your car? Just a couple candles in a car? And so I try to tell them that, and they don't want to hear it. When they get teenagers, they definitely don't want to hear it. But my son's the same way. He thinks he knows everything. So, but that's what we dealing with up here. So it's definitely tomorrow. I'm not going to wear my mean coat into my nephew's. It's his game tomorrow. His wrestling match is first. So I'm not going to bust out with the mink in that mug. But it's definitely the rest of the day wearing the mink all day. And then we get into Friday, it's going to be 17 above. And then by Saturday, it's 30 above, 34 Sunday. I think next week, is it snow next week? No, mild temperatures. Well, next week is going to get back to, when I come on next Wednesday, it's going to be 20. So far, this is the coldest it's been this year. So I'm tempted to, because this thing back here is a little heater too. I'm damn near tempted to turn that little motherfucker on, but no, with the long sleeve, I'm smooth. Please, thank you for joining.
You can't get too close to Michael, it's a foul.
Thank you, please. Yeah, thank you for coming. I can't even watch the game anymore. I have to depend on blogging and highlights. It's a Euro League at this point. Yeah, pretty much. I have to leave the house without a coat. Yeah, I don't either. In the wintertime, I'm gloves, boots. Now, I think I showed you guys the $9 Adidas boots, winter boots I got. and they're not bad. I was a little bit of shoveling, not really much, just so it won't freeze over. So when it was still soft, I pushed it off tonight and cleaned, my doorway. And the little boots weren't bad. I don't know if for long term outside they really wouldn't do it because it's just not enough material. But for just running in and out of the store, they'll be perfect. So they kept but I wore them the whole time I was outside. And I was outside a good 10, 15 minutes because it's trash day. So I had to put my trash out. So, oh, and let's see. In the morbid news, what was her name? Mickey Giovanni. What's her name? Nikki Giovanni. She was a poet. She passed away. Nikki Giovanni, I think is her name. She passed away. But in the morbid news, we have legend and former All-Star, dead at 91, Cleveland. Oh, okay. Sacrifice for Cleveland. Played for Cleveland Guardians. They were Indians. You clearly, you see how they said the Cleveland played for the Cleveland Guardians? It's clearly Indian right there. That's clearly Indian. Let's see. Our collective hired Rocky. Rocky was generational hero, one of the most popular players. He's popular, blah, blah, blah. Was a 9-time All-Star. Began his career at 33 at the tender age of 17. Wow. He was called up at 17. Mass trial. Yeah, he made his, he made his major league debut with the Guardians, with the Indians in 55. Damn, 20 years he was in the minors? What? 2017. I can't be right. 20 years? Following a mass tryout, he made his major league debut with the Guardians in 55. That's 20 years. That's 20 years. So you telling me he was in the minors for 20 years? Major league with the Guardians, and he was traded to Detroit Tigers for pitcher. I bet he was born in 33. Decision angered fans who had embraced Cavallado as a Cleveland icon. After tenure with Kansas City, he returned to Cleveland ahead of the 1965. It's no way. It's no way he started playing in the. I mean, this is a pretty big period right here, 33 to 55. So how long? If he made his major league debut, you telling me he was in from 37 to 40, for 17 to 27 and 37. At 37 years old, he made his debut in 55. Is that what you're trying to tell us? So I think that's a little wrong. He remains the only player to hit 4 home runs in a game, which he achieved in 59. He hit 370 home runs in 14 seasons. He played 14 seasons, so this can't be right. This 20-year span can't be right if he played 14 seasons. Okay. All right. So is Rocky Cavato? Is that what his name? Rocky Cavato. Okay, Rocky. Let's see if Nikki Giovanni, she was a poet. And I know she passed. Don't see her in here. Because she was all over Facebook yesterday. Let's see if I can find her. What's her name? G. I don't know how to spell her name. I don't know how to spell her name, so I'm probably... here she is. Giovanni. Yeah, Nikki Giovanni died yesterday. Nikki Giovanni was born in 43, so she was 81 years old. American writer, commentator, activist, educator, one of the world's best-known African-American poets. Her works included poetry anthologies, poetry recordings, and nonfiction essay, covers topics ranging from race and social issues to children's literature. She won numerous awards, including the Langston Hughes Medal and the NAACP Image Award. She was nominated in 2004 for Grammy for a poetry album, the Nikki Giovanni Poetry. She was named one of Oprah's top 25 living legends, was a member of the Washington Women's Writers. She gained her fame in the 60s as one of the foremost authors of the Black Arts Movement, influenced by the Civil Rights Movement and the Black Power Movement. of the period and early work, a strong militant African American perspective, leading writer to dub her the poet of the Black Revolution. During the 70s, she began writing children literature and co-founded a publishing company, Tom, to provide outlet for the African American women writers. Over subsequent decades, her work discussed social issues, human relationships, hip hop. Poems such as Knoxville, Tennessee, and Nikki Rosa have been frequently republished. She received numerous awards. She was given key to more than 24 cities. She was honored. She was proud of her Appalachian roots and worked to change the way the world view Appalachians and Afrikaners. She taught at Queens College, Rutgers, and Ohio State, distinguished professor at Virginia State till she retired in 22. After Virginia Tech shooting, she delivered a poem for the memorial. She was born in Tennessee. Soon after birth, they moved to Cincinnati, where her parents worked at Glenview. Her family moved to Wyoming, Ohio. And some first 3 years, sister Gary been calling her Nikki. In 58, she returned to Knoxville, lived with her grandparents. She began to her studies with her grandmother's alma mater, Fisk, in Nashville, an early remnant, which meant she could enroll in college without having finished high school. Wow. She didn't even finish high school and still got to go to college. What does that mean? Let's see. Early interest to college, sometimes called early admission or early enrollment, is the practice allowing students who accelerated into college 1 or more years before the traditional age. Okay. She immediately clashed with then Dean of Women and expelled after neglecting to obtain the required permission from the dean to leave campus and travel home to Thanksgiving break. Wow, you would need permission to go home? That sounds like a setup. She moved to Knoxville. She worked at Walgreens, okay, and helped care for her nephew. She spoke with the new dean and Blanche, who urged return to Fisk the fall, and Germany entered a student journal literary. She graduated in honors in 67. Soon after grad, she suffered the loss of her grandmother, turned to writing poems to cope with it. She attended semester University of Pennsylvania, toured an MSW, then moved to New York, where she briefly attended Columbia. So she bounced around in college, teaching Livingston. After the birth of her son, she was accused of setting a bad example because there were not many unmarried mothers at that time. Note that the birth of their son helped her realize that children have different interests and require different content than adults. The realization led her to start writing her children's books. And this is more of what she looked like before she died. So I don't know if you guys are hip to her or not. Has everybody seen the movie Wicked? I want to see that. What I take is that they're preload to The Wizard of Oz. Homeboy got to live the SIP. Yeah, my homeboy got to leave the SIP and do work in Milwaukee next week. Milwaukee's 4 degrees right now. They're going to have a high of 30. Let me get that, and I'll discuss that. Now that was part of the reason I didn't go too, because the day I was gonna leave, like I did my show. I was gonna leave the next day, last Thursday, and then they got a storm in eastern Wisconsin, which is near me. Well, I guess that would be that would be western Wisconsin. Sorry about that. Yeah, western Wisconsin started having a storm. And so that's another reason, because I wanted to stop. I wanted to go to Milwaukee and see my cousins, and go see them, and then head to Michigan from there. That was really the whole plan, but didn't really do that. Now, I'm gonna tell you, like, if it's a straight up musical, Lorenzo. Every other moment is a song, so be prepared if you like musicals. Like I talked about the Joker was a musical, and they ain't even let people know. But to let you know, this is a straight up musical. So understand that it's a musical. So if you cool with musicals, it's not a lot of story. It's a lot of musical. My mother didn't like it. My mother-in-law didn't like it. My wife saw the play, but she didn't want to go see the movie. I definitely didn't want to go see the movie, especially after seeing the Joker. So everybody's seeing it saying, if you like, my daughter didn't even like it. My daughter didn't even like it. So it's a musical. I mean, it's a musical. And that was the bad thing about the Joker. They didn't tell you it's a musical. Michael Jordan still ain't sold this house. I thought I read he sold this house. Nobody wants to buy Michael Jordan's house in Chicago, outside of Chicago. Luxury is 32,000 square. Oh, this is in Highland Park. Okay, this is in Highland Park. The property closed. Oh, that he finally sold it. He sold it for $9 million. But I know they needed a lot of work and repair. So he was asking $29 million, and they said he sold it for $9 million. I think he already sold this for a while ago, though. When is this saying? So no pictures of it? No, don't look like any pictures. I know it needed a lot of work, though. I saw in the house a couple weeks ago, they were showing it. So, blah, blah, blah. Number 30, one of the decades in the market. This house has been empty for almost 10 years, if not longer. No, the identity of the buyer remains undisclosed, and no buyer's agent was listed. So maybe he knew somebody that would take it off his hand. Jordan's deal, high-end real estate, faces challenges as evidenced by billionaire Ken Griffin recently selling property at below what he paid. So this house has been, I bet this house has been vacant for 15 years. So a lot of upkeep, but it was laid. It was definitely laid. If you guys ever saw it, the house was laid. So but I don't know, maybe the ghost of Jordan or something. I don't want to be anywhere where Jordan was in there fucking. Who is this cat? Oh, and I think I already talked about the cats that made it to the Football Hall of Fame. Brown for the Lions that blocked for Barry Sanders. Lomas Brown made it to the Hall of Fame. Now, who is this cat? Can't see Jim Tyler. Might be enshrined. Jim Tyler. I don't know if y'all remember him. Jim Tyler would have played with Lynn Dawson, and when the Chiefs won their first Super Bowl, this cat would have been on the team. Proves on the football was formative enough to increasing knowledge about CTE. Had to cling for decades. His 4 children had clung to. They've been one of their hopes. Let's see. He gets CTA up all decades team, 3 championships, as well as the Kansas City Super Bowl. Over 14 years, moved closer from the halls. Senior announced he was among the contributor coach for the year of 25. Okay. He's been considered voter for 50 years. Eligibility. Wow. Okay, this must be. So he finally went in. A number of factors now who retired besides accolade. There's a greater awareness of the toll that chronic traumatic apathy and necessity take on football players. Tyler stood 6'6" and weighed 300 pounds, had a huge head that caused teammates to jokingly refer to him as the pumpkin. Pumpkin head. The Post and 80 helmets back then lacked the padding and sophistication of today's helmet. And Tyler often used his head as a weapon while fiercely playing 180 consecutive games, 194 overall. He was never diagnosed with CTE. And the autopsy noted no instructive abnormalities and were identified in his brain. We more learn that the more we know. So, okay. I think I had his 3D football card. So I think Lomas Brown that blocked for Barry Sanders, I think he made it too. And I think I already said Dick Allen and Dave Parker. I think I showed that the other day. Dick Allen and Dave Parker made it. I think I already said him. Actor on Dynasty and Kaz, I think I talked about him. Oh, the one thing is Bill Belichick taking the job at North Carolina. Now, did you see he gave them a 400-page book outlining what everybody needed to do. He coming in there hitting the ground running. If I was him, I would get one of the best recruiters in the country. And then I would make sure how much bread can we get these players? Because can you really see the 72-year-old man going into your living room if you had children that was about to make it and identifying with that child? I just wonder about his recruiting ability. Now remember, he was the defensive coach. He was a defensive coach, and even in that Tony, what was the dude who killed the people? Even in that short, he made a thing. It's like, well, I'll draft another tight end, and we'll go 2 tight ends. Well, that's just really when he went 2 tight ends. That was just a copy of what Gibbs did. That was the only thing that stopped Lawrence Taylor. Is they would put that extra G back, they called it back then. So they would double team. They would have a guaranteed double team. So, and the way they did it was sweet because if Taylor, like, he wouldn't always line up on the right side. If he lined up on the left side, they would switch the dude in motion to the left side. So if you remember the years the Giants didn't win it, that's what happened is he was getting blocked. The years the Redskins won. So I don't know if he's going to be at a, relate or not. Attendance, abundance to all. Hey, L Dragon, Amaroon Khan.
You can't get too close to Michael. It's a foul.
What'd you say? Might be reason it was 20 million less than he wanted. The work that it needed might be the reason it sold for 20 million less than he wanted. Yeah, I mean, yeah, because I saw a thing of the house and it was a lot of neglect. I think his full court basketball was flooded. That kind of work. So it been neglected, and he was probably just cutting the grass, paying taxes on it. And so he kind of gave it away too. So, Cat is impressive at me as a Knick so far. And Trey Young's finally playing like a point guard. Yeah, he had a good second half. Again, as I mentioned, it was do no right. And matter of fact, he didn't even play a lot in the first half. I think he missed a considerable amount of the first quarter and a considerable amount of the second quarter. And then halftime, because I remember when he came in, I kept trying to point him out to my wife, and then he came in, I was like, "Oh, there he is." So he played better in the second half, and there's been all kind of trade rumors about him anyway, like they was getting rid of him, but we'll see. Belichick is gonna fail. I don't know. It's really like what you saw with Dion. Understanding NILs. It's like Dion only lost I guess he's a red shirt wide receiver that ain't played in 2 years. Matter of fact, he was on the 1-11 team before Dion took over. Didn't play that first year and played a few plays this year. So now he's transferring out. And Dion gave him props, he gave him props. But he wasn't a starter that left. But Dion understands NIL. Dion got the best quarterback coming in the league, coming into college football. He got a 5-star quarterback. So he understands the game. So if Belichick comes in understanding, and the best thing about this and the way the new system is these prima donna coaches, these egomaniac coaches can't be egomaniacs. You got to treat the children like businessmen now. And not even children. You got to treat young men like businessmen. And you got to understand, this is all about business. And so treat them like business, treat them with respect. It ain't like you could ruin their careers anymore. Because he can say, hey, it's like a lot of times what happened is, okay, 3 quarterbacks competing for a job. Boom, you start so-and-so, we leaving. We not even messing with you. And they won't lose their season. They won't lose their eligibility. You can play 6 games and not lose your eligibility. And what do they play? 13, 14, something like that. So I just think if he gets a good staff around him, he gets a good offensive coordinator, because really they had a decent team. If you really look, they had a decent team last year. Now they lost to, they had some fixed games where they lost to some sorry teams. And, they got rid of that old coach. Because it's funny, they fired a 70-year-old coach to hire a 70-year-old coach. And I'm surprised that he wanted the job, too. At 72 years old, how long do you want the job? So, I guess he probably signed a 4 or 5 year contract to get you want to get at least, I imagine, a graduating class. But maybe he's looking at the way the NIL's going. I don't know. Maybe he's looking at the way the NIL's going that it might be a possibility that, he can make something happen there. So I don't know. They play 12 in the regular season. Yeah, that's right, because that's what we played. That's right. 12 in the regular season. And if you get a bowl, you'll play a few more. So you can play half the season. That's why you go to see this, as I said, unlimited eligibility. Because you play 6, get hurt or whatever, boom, get another year. Play. So that's why one dude, I think he was around 8 years. You got older dudes coming back. Like we've had a couple kickers. It was a kicker. What was that kicker in his 30s? It was a kicker that kicked from somebody this year or last year. And I want to say it was this year, but it could have been last year. He was in his 30s. He went back to college in his 30s to play. Because now, he can support his family. Dudes, now that the colleges got to pay you, straight up getting these contracts. So if Belichick understands that, then he'll be fine and get and it's a lot of cats that he's a defensive guy. So he's got to get a good offensive coordinator because he's a defensive coach. So he ain't an offensive coach. He's a defensive coordinator. So, oh yeah, and Travis Hunter won Defensive Player of the Year. So to me, that shows he ain't going to get the Heisman. They already gave him the Defensive Player of the Year. I don't think they're going to give him the Heisman. Plus announcing it now instead of, after the Heisman, I don't think he's going to win it. I think they're going to give it to that running back. But I think Hunter deserves it, but I think they're going to give it to the running back. And then tomorrow night, maybe, because it's going to be cold tomorrow, but we might go see Craven. Who is this cat? In the morbid news, Thomas Christopher, he passed at 84. Who is he? Oh, okay. Nobody would know who he is. So nobody would know who this cat is. And I mean, that's, his death is the date they wanted it. Now, this thing about Randy Moss, Larry Fitzgerald Jr. said Randy Moss has liver cancer. But his son came out today and said, and Randy Moss went off the air. And remember, we showed him that one shot where his eyes is beet yellow, which does show jaundice. And so exactly something that shouldn't be thrown around on social media. So his son got mad. Just heard the news. Randy Moss have liver cancer. Randy will always be in my heart. But Randy Moss' son got pissed for them saying that. Randy Moss breaks down his account. So, fast healing to Randy. But I know his son was pissed, specifically tweeted former teammate Brett Favre saying that Brett's support is appreciated. This is not true. My father addressed the world when he's ready to. So let's keep up the prayers and not speculate what he's suffering from. Come on, the eyes give it away. We already know it's liver. So it's some kind of liver damage. Your eyes don't jaundice up like that without it. And, it was noticeable. So fast healing Randy Moss. Because Randy was a good dude. He played in the Pro-Am tournament. I got to watch him hoop. Really strong hooper. Liked to hoop. I think he played in a pro league too. So, Michael Cole. Okay, there's more in the morbid news. Michael Cole, Mod Squad star. Do y'all know it used to be a dance called the Mod Squad? But Mod Squad had Quincy Jones' wife, Peggy Lipton. Peggy Lipton is Tupac's girlfriend, his mama, and that other girl that's the actor, the Quincy Jones' daughter, Rashida. Yeah, that was Peggy Lipton. She played in this Mod Squad too. So this is a cat that the Mod Squad was on 63 to 73. It was like what was that Johnny Depp played in? Where the high schoolers act like they were narcs. They was high. What was that? 21 Jump Street. Man, yeah. This Mod Squad was at the 21 Jump Street of the 60s, where they was acting like they was all they was in the hip scene and the hippies and stuff. And then the dad, Link, whatever his name was, the dad from Purple Rain, he played the dad. Link, I think was his name on the show. Do they tell all their names? Clarence Williams III. Yeah, he played it. So Peggy Lipton is who married Quincy Jones. So, Yeah, so that's who this cat is. I know a lot of y'all wouldn't know it because the Mod Squad came on when I was 7. I was in 3rd grade, but my dad liked it. And then it seemed like it came on a Friday night too, so it was like kind of. And it used to be a dance called the Mod Squad and shit. That's some old shit there, y'all. The Mod Squad dance is some old shit. And I'll just talk briefly about this. I'll just talk very briefly about this. Let's see. Let's get it going a little further. Okay. So this is like very suspect. This is very suspect because, as I said the other night, it reminds me of JFK. When you watch JFK and you have the Donald Sutherland character saying he was in Iceland, which was, ahead of time and almost before the assassination, they're putting all this information out about Lee Harvey Oswald. Now just think, the day before they ain't know who the fuck he was or nothing of that. But again, a motherfucker got shown being in a small place just like the dude who got caught in the dark web. Got caught at McDonald's. That dude got caught at the coffee shop. So when they know too much and they show you too much, it's a cover. It's a cover. It's fake. As we talking about real and fake at the same time. This is definitely real and fake at the same time. It's not really. I mean, no one, like, they didn't say they found the suppressor. Okay, who keeps the gun? He got away to Pennsylvania, and you could have took the gun apart on the way and threw pieces here, threw pieces there, threw pieces here, threw pieces there. And the main thing is to get rid of the barrel. Do you know how easy it is to go out in the woods where you could just be in a park or something and you could just hammer the barrel into the ground and nobody would ever know? You could go to somewhere if it's a little wet and put that barrel in some, get a little woods and just put that barrel and knock it into the dirt. They'd never know. They would, at least would never have that weapon. So it's not believable that he kept a weapon. That's not believable at all that he kept a weapon. So I don't know. It doesn't seem believable to me, y'all. Doesn't seem believable. Oh my goodness. Oh. Injured reporter after no show. Who is this cat? Officially, who is this? Once again, in the transfer all-season journey, began his career at Michigan State. Oh, who's this cat? Now it says this cat went to Colorado and he's leaving. Who is this? Once again, in plan to continue off-season, began his career at Michigan State, where he played in all 12 and the 23 as a redshirt sophomore. Right, despite being starter, East Lansing 2 seasons as a backup, opted to new opportunities. Surprising move. Committed to Colorado, joined the program undergoing high profile. However, Boyd never arrived in Boulder for the fall camp and expected development that raised questions about his future. His departure left Colorado without a player who was expected to be a key contributor. Oh, so he never went to school. Okay. Why did he take the year off? Why did he take the year off? He got nice size, but damn, you took a year off. You took a year off. So, California man sues Lally, claiming he had 2 mega winning tickets, but only got half the money. Oh, that's funny. That is funny. Oh, that's funny. Ohio State makes pick Ohio State. I think I already gave my. Oh, I'll give my picks too. When did the playoffs start? That's right. I got to give picks for that too. Playoff picks for Ohio State. I think I gave last time I came on. I gave the picks. Let's see. When are the games? Do a search. Let's see. Jackson. No. I don't want that. Let's see, men's college basketball. No. Football playoffs. Okay. Oh, let's give me the same thing. See more games. Oh, I got time to make these picks. Okay, this is just showing. This is not showing the tournament games. It's showing the bowl games. This is showing all the bowl games. But remember, in the bowl games, they are betting on the bowl games. So this is not giving me. Let's see. Huh. Where is the playoffs? This was supposed to be it. Oh, it's just the bowl games. Where is the playoff bowl? Is this part of it breakdown? Let's see. Let's see. All right. Yeah, so the games ain't till, let's see. College football playoff schedule, January, Atlanta. Oh, wow. Championship game ain't until the 20th of January? Yeah, so the Rose Bowl is January 1st. Yeah. Wow, that's a long period from January 1st. January 1st. Then they play one. Yeah, Boise State. The first, it opens up with Boise. No. It's okay. It opens up here. Notre Dame, December 20th, which is next weekend. Okay. So I got time to make my pick. So that's when the first playoffs start. Here we go. First playoffs start then. So right here, this is the first games. 20th, 21st, 21st, 21st. So next Saturday, we have a game. Indiana, Notre Dame is that Friday. And then this SMU Penn State is Saturday. Tennessee, Ohio State is Saturday. And Clemson at Texas is Saturday. And then we move on to the first. Yeah, and then they go to the bowls on the first. But then look at this. From the first, the semis is going to be the 9th, 10th. I guess that's waiting a week like they do in the Super Bowl. Waiting a week to play. Okay. Oh, what have I missed? Belichick going head coach in North Carolina had me like, where did this come from? It's surprising me that interviewed for the job. I kind of thought the same thing. I was surprised when he interviewed it too. I was very surprised because a lot of people saying he was trying to get leverage to get back in the NFL. But what jobs was really good? I wouldn't want the Cowboys job. Now they announced Huntley getting defensive award. He's mostly not getting. That's what I just said. I want him to get it, but trying to bring the running back so I can see getting the Heisman. Holly Robinson Pete not only played on the show 21 Jump Street, but she's also sang the theme song. Yeah, that's right. And they made a movie out of it too. You know, they made a movie out of it. It was also a movie. 21 Jump Street. Yeah, I kind of remember the song now. But that's all the Mod Squad was. It was the same thing. It was the exact same thing. Ooh, now I want these. I like the 12s. Probably my favorite Jordans. Well, of course, the 13, 14s were my favorite to hoop in, but the ones they remake, I think these are the best. I think the 12s. So this one's coming out. Did they gonna tell them when it's coming out? Release date is next week, the 18th. So I think I'm buying these. I love this blue. It goes with a bunch of shit I got. So I'm passing on the ones that's coming out. I think it's the 10s this weekend, but I think I'm going to get these. Yeah, I'm going to get these. What are they, 210? Yeah, I'm going to get these. I like these. I like walking around in these. These are comfortable, especially when I put my inserts. Some of them, ain't that comfortable. Like Air Force Ones, even with my or Air Jordan ones, even my inserts ain't that comfortable, but these are comfortable. So I think I'm going to pass this weekend on the 10s. I just didn't like the 10s I got. I don't like the way they made. They made really cheap. So the 18th. Okay. Yeah, I'll be getting these. Definitely be getting these. So for those of you that are basketball enthusiasts, and this is a good segue. Now, I don't know. Maybe I showed these. Maybe I didn't. If I showed them, and I'm sorry, but I didn't think I showed these. So if I did, I'm going to show them a fucking again. But these are the Veremos that my wife wanted. And these are, let me see if they got the color scheme on them. These are Phantom Dust, Chrome, Gridiron, Polyspear, Photos, Chromatic. So you can see they got the chrome all over them. So these are Vomero 5s. Truth be told, when my daughter sees these, she gonna want a pair of these. I'm almost tempted to take the ones I got her back and get her a pair of these. New shoes! New shoes! And these are the one we got my daughter. The 9060s. And these are, what are these called? Gray beige. The 9060 gray beige. I think she's going to want the Vomeros once she sees them, so we might end up taking these back. I'm tempted to take them back and get the Vomeros. They cost the same. They both cost, what, 150, 160. So, my wife was like, 160. I'm like, yeah, if you like them, don't matter how much they cost. And we'll give a shout out to Finish Line. Got them at Finish Line, so shout out to Finish Line. So, I don't go out to the mall or the outlet when I don't want to spend money. It's like, I get tired of spending money. Like, when you go through a weekend and you spent like just groceries, fucking around, and you done went through 3 days and spent 11, 12. And I don't mean paying rent. I mean just out buying shit. And before you know it, you done spent $1,200, $1,300 in 2, 3 days. Should be adding up. Shit definitely adds up. So, I've been so lazy, but I got to start playing pickleball again. I just been so lazy, unmotivated. Oh, Mac V Productions, what is happening?
You can't get too close to Michael, it's a foul.
Meech, what's happening?
You can't get too close to Michael, it's a foul.
Oh, clean is the board of health. Oh, thank you. That's funny. Thank you. That's funny. That's funny. But thank you for coming on in. I'm doing my normal thing, talk about sports and debauchery, and towards the end, I'll get into the philosophizing and shit. But kind of find some debauchery. Oh, let me look up, did you guys see Lobo's video? Let me find that. Let me find Lobo's video. Yeah, here we go. There we go. Oh, damn, it's another cat named Lobo. Let's see if I can run into him. I'm sorry, I can't show that to y'all. Dang. Some kind of way my son was fucking around on mine and got me out of YouTube. And right now I don't feel like fucking around trying to get back on in. Because I don't have email on this computer. Oh, maybe they'll let me in. Let's see. Oh, maybe this is it. Where's the shit at? Here. Let's see if it's this one. Because I really don't know. No, it wasn't that one. Let's see if that's it. No, that ain't it either. Oh well. I don't know why I can't find him. I didn't think it was that many Lobos out there. Cause did you guys see his video where oh, they put me into college. I don't see his stuff. No, this ain't his stuff. Let's see. Can I find his short though? Cause he put a short out there where they showed the glove. The receiver was trying to let go of the ball and he couldn't let go of the ball. So I'm sorry I can't find Lobo's video. No, they're not giving me his stuff. Yeah. Got to sign in and they're not verifying it's me. And I don't remember. Now what password is this? See what they put. Yeah. So why isn't this working? So I don't know. You got to spell L0 B0. Okay, that's cool. L0 B0. Okay. Thank you. Let's try that. L0 B0. Whoops. I think it's all caps though. I think that's what it is. It's all caps. Oh. I think that's what it is. It's all caps. Nah, still not taking me into his stuff. And you say go L0 B0. Okay, well, let's try that. L0 B0. Let's see if it'll take me there. Ah, yes, it did. Thank you, Lorenzo. Let's see if we can find that one video. It's one of his shorts. Now where is this one? This is one of his newest ones. Magnetic field goal. What is that called? Let me see. Yeah, rigged NFL magnetic gloves, stick to ball. Maybe I need to get into his. Oh, did he pull this one? Chiefs. Did he pull it? Let me get into.
Yeah, man. Like, comment, subscribe, ring that notification bell. Join the Discord. The link will be in the description below. We're going to get right into it today. We talking about the Jake Paul Mike Tyson fight. It just ended. Jake Paul won by unanimous decision. And I'm just going to say off rip, that fight was trash. Terrible. All that hype for nothing. And to be quite frank, we're talking about a 57-year-old Mike Tyson against a 20-something-year-old Jake Paul. Huge age difference. And even off the entrances alone, you can kind of tell who's going to win this fight. Because Jake Paul came out with the slow-moving car, acting like, yo, this ain't a big deal. It's whatever. It's not like it's Mike Tyson.
Jameis Winston. When was this one made? Wonder if he pulled it. See where Mr. Lobo is on here. Is it on his live? Or I thought it was on his shorts. I'm not seeing it. Maybe he pulled it. Maybe he pulled this one. Huh. But he shows where the ball is stuck. Like the receiver is shaking the ball off and he can't. So he actually takes his glove off and the glove is stuck to the ball. So I don't know. Maybe they made him pull it down because I don't see it. I don't see it on the shorts. This is the newest one here. It's basketball. Same as up here. I don't see it. Let me see. Let me go back to you. What was that date? Let me find a date on it. There is no date. Gloves just sticks to the ball. Wonder if they made him take it down. It's been a day or two. I don't know. I don't see it on his shorts. To show it. So maybe they made him take it down. Because I think this was new. I don't think it was old. Saints. Let's see. Rig. Well, if you can find it, it's Lobo shows it where the ball is stuck. The glove is stuck to the ball. And so maybe he pulled it. I don't think it was a video. I think it was a short. Let's see. Yeah, it was a short, I thought. Yeah, I think it was a short. I don't see it though. Yeah, I don't see it. Yeah, I don't see it in his shorts. Michigan Chiefs have some magnets. Get away with this hold. This is the NBA. Let's see. Jameis Winston. Curse. Yeah, I do not see it. Rigged. I don't see it, y'all. I don't know if y'all can see that or not. See, he's trying to take the ball off. Look at this. Look at that. The glove is stuck to the ball. Let's play this one again. See, the glove is stuck to the ball. See, he takes the ball off. The glove was stuck on it. But you go to Lobo's channel, if you can find it. So that's outstanding. If you like, my kind of content, Lobo does a lot of the sports content where we've proven that the league is scripted, which it is. So I was saying, you could see in the players play tonight, you could see in, when it came to crunch time, you could see the Golden State was going to lose, So I remember, and I shared the video where the Ole Miss receiver had the ball hanging from his, from his fingertip. Yeah, remember he barely had fingertips on the ball, but yet he caught it. He caught it. Remember the Texas A&M where the linebacker number 9 goes up and he's barely touching the ball. That's why I've said when they drop balls, they turn the gloves off. They've got some kind of way they can turn that attraction off. Because you can see the receivers, like the ones, especially the ones when it hits them in their shoulder pads. They try to let it hit because it was a play this past weekend where the dude used his leg to hold the ball. God, I thought about making a video, but it's like, I'm showing the same thing over and over again. But he definitely used it. There was, I think the whole jersey and pants have some type of attraction, not just the gloves. I think the biggest attraction's in the gloves, but I think the jerseys and the pants have a slight attraction to them too. Because we've seen them where it should blast you in the shoulder pads and they're able to hold it. Where it's thrown really hard, it looks like it's about to bounce off their shoulder pads in some kind of way they hold on to it. So I think the jersey and all that has attraction. Oh, it says Dion might get one of the pass rushers because they leaving out of Alabama too. They transferring out of Alabama. What is this cat's name? This guy's made college football. What's his name? Right. Let's see. So his name is, what's this cat's name? Oh, defensive lineman Jaheim Otis. It looks like he's transferring from Alabama to join Dion. I saw that Alabama already lost a receiver, so another transfer. You know, it's funny, they be joking about Denzel Washington play the same character in every movie. He kind of does. Brooklyn accent in every movie. He's in Gladiator with a Brooklyn accent. You know, every movie he plays the same character. You know, Frank Lucas, he was the same. Now, Malcolm was the only one where he really wasn't the same character. When he played, what is it, the South African I was talking about? Whatever his name is, Stephen Banco. When he played Stephen Banco, he was Denzel. He wasn't like Malcolm. If you ever saw him in the play Malcolm, he's definitely Malcolm. And you see the movie, the only problem I have with the movie is his voice is hoarse. It's like they had practiced so much. If you listen to it clearly in Malcolm X, his voice is hoarse most of the movie. So they had over practiced. That was my only knock on the movie. And you know, like, that's something that most young men haven't experienced in their lives. Like, people don't understand, like, the attraction that Malcolm made to young men across America. I mean, they went from having Mosque #1 in Detroit, Mosque #2 in Chicago, Mosque #3 in Harlem. I think 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think 7 was Harlem. But I think 3 was Queens, maybe. So they went to having less than 10 to 20. And by the time Malcolm was in his prime of being a black Muslim, they had them all across the country. I think it went from something like 7 to 10 to like 70, 80. Operating mosque. Kalamazoo, that's really kind of how, you know, when I studied Islam was through the Kalamazoo Mosque. That's how popular, but that's how, you know, strong Malcolm was. That's how strong, where people wanted to be around him, but it made people want to be around what he associated with, if you understand. And so we just don't see those kind of brothers anymore. And I'm not even going to say leaders, just brothers that's just so much charisma. And I'll say that Malcolm, you know, in his own right was controlled opposition too, in his own right. Because let's remember, the Muslims, the mugs was getting them government money too. You know, I've talked about that before. You know, Xavier, who's the other one, you know, that they made, Stan Lee say he made the characters, Xavier, you know, King and Magneto, you know, was kind of Martin and Malcolm, where, you know, they both controlled opposition. And really, King didn't really talk shit until they cut that bread. And once they cut that bread, he had a lot to say. As Corey Holcomb says, he had a lot to say by then. Oh, here we go. How much is gold today? Nah, this ain't it. This ain't it. Where's my stocks? See, get some stocks in here. See how gold did today. Ah, here we go. Oh, everything traded green today. Bitcoin is back over to 100,000, y'all. Bitcoin, check this out. Even it's really not too late, but Ethereum is more affordable. But Ethereum is 3,900, which ain't bad. I mean, it wasn't that long ago. Bitcoin was 1,000. Wasn't that long ago, Bitcoin was like at 50, within the last couple months. So what did gold drop down to? Shoot, gold is actually back up. It was 2,600 when I was here last week. So 2,700, good time to buy gold. I trust gold more than I trust the Bitcoin. Because if the world, these motherfuckers go to war and shit, gold is going to be worth some money, not Bitcoin. Gold and silver is going to be worth some money, not Bitcoin. And, like they said in, what was it? Escape from New York. Remember Pam, or was that Pam Grier or Tina Turner? I think it was Tina Turner. He's like, well, I'll give you some money. She's like, I got a room full of that worthless shit. And that's, if it comes down to it, that shit is pretty worthless. It's a promise note, not backed by anything. And that's what the government allowed. They allowed debt. They allowed invisible, change the laws, change the laws to back something that has no value. Whereas before, when it's backed by gold and silver, when they're called silverbacks or goldbacks, they had value. They really don't have value now. Not really. If everything collapsed, if people would take it. And you see how they counterfeit that shit. When they first put them big bills on there, that shit was the easiest shit to counterfeit. Can't tell you how many I saw counterfeited. I'll say that. And you had them laser printers. The only problem is the serial numbers. But in the hustle street game, you got hundreds. Ain't nobody looking at that shit. Ain't nobody looking at that shit in the streets. They ain't looking to see if the numbers match. And what did White Sands show you? You take that money, you put it in a dryer with coins and change, and let that shit go around. It wrinkles the money up enough, and people don't pay attention. Especially in the streets, shit. You trying to hustle, niggas doing it quickly. They ain't like, well, look at these bills. They ain't doing that shit. And there was even paper you could get to pass the little, the little, when they'd mark it to see if it was fake or not, because that's how much they was fake. They had to have things to check them with. So, I don't know, y'all. It's funny. I'm not like I don't really celebrate Christmas like that, like that. I really don't. I give gifts, I receive them, but I give out more than I receive. But I'm glad, our tree is in the storage, and I'm glad that my daughter didn't want me to put it up because I didn't really feel like putting it up. So my wife and my daughter ain't said nothing, so she'll get gifts, but we ain't putting that bullshit up. Because the tree is German. That's a German thing to do. The only true part of what Saint Nicholas did is the stockings. People used to put their shoes outside, and St. Nicholas would fill up the shoes, and the shoes turned into stockings. So that's the only part of what St. Nicholas did, Oh, here we go. This is a big one right here. Big one right here. This is what I'll say not guilty to. And remember, it's a civil case. Roger Goodell said relationship with Jay-Z is not changing. So he's doubled down on it. So he knows something. That the league's partnership with Roc Nation Entertainment Company founded by Jay-Z is not changing the civil lawsuit filed against him. Again, it's civil. Of what went on with a young girl. We are aware of the allegations, really strong response. So, okay, they know something. Extended by both parties, like they extended it. So they're saying that strongly denied it. So it's the only colored or Negro news. But I've said this before, is if it was something to that, if it was something to it, the NFL would have been the first to drop him. If the NFL thought he would lose, the NFL would have dropped him. Because we've seen how they done other players and other people. So we see they didn't do that. So there's something going on that it looks like he's going to beat it. Again, it's not criminal. I think it's statute of limitations is up on it being criminal. I think you have to be some kind of mentor, like teacher or something, or a priest, that it goes beyond the statute of limitations. That's why they go in civil and not criminal. think you got so many years to that. And see, that's if you even look at Trump. Um, you look at Trump and what they did to him and saying he assaulted somebody all those years ago. I mean, it makes you wonder, why didn't they do something then? And it's not shaming the victim. It's saying, this just seems political. Oh, who was that chick? They said Joe Burrow's house got robbed. This is what I was trying to bring up. Joe Burrow is the latest. It's a gang like that they hit here. They robbed about 10 people here, all high-end homes. I think I told you guys they took one home, they took the window out. They killed the alarm and they took the window out. They broke it all around where you fix the window in. So they, landscape or house builders, home builders. But what's his name? Mike Conley Jr. When he was beating the drum for the football game, they robbed him. They knew he wasn't home, so they had been watching him. So Joe Burrows is the latest star athlete to be a victim of burglary. We do have shattered window in the bedroom. Look at this crib. This is the badass crib. Cincinnati Bengals road win over the Cowboys. Came at a price for the star quarterback. Authorities say someone broke into Burrow's home in the Cincinnati area at some point Saturday and the game the following day. We have shattered windows in the bedroom. The bedroom has been ransacked. A report from the Hamilton College says that the influencer and Sports Illustrated swimsuit model Olivia, who authority works for Burroughs, arrived at the house, discovered the break-in, telling the authorities in the call. My daughter's there. This is Joe's Burrow house. She's staying here. He's at the football game, she said. Authorities did not provide details what damage had been stolen. The sheriff's office says that the off-duty was stationed at Burroughs' home. That the off-duty deputy was stationed at his home. Wow. So how did an off-duty deputy was stationed at his home and yet it was still a break-in? So he was sleeping on the job or they watched him. See, they forget, you watching the house, people watching you. And the minute you slip, they slip in. The minute you slip, they slip in. But it's a profession. I hate to say it. It appears to be a Latino gang because that's who they caught. They caught some people here. They caught the Latino gang members here that broke into these big old houses around here. So no shade to anybody, but that's what it appears like because they caught 3 or 4 of them here. And that's what seemed like it happened. So, but remember, just as much as you can watch people, people can watch you. So that's what I think people forget. That when you watch people, people can watch you. You think you watching something and people watching you. And the minute that you leave, boom. And that's, the people looking at all the bread they're going to get. That's why you still got to have safes. Like still have safes. If you have built-in, a walk-in closet with built-in, make sure that shit has steady locks. Have a safe. When you like me, if I would have went out to out of town like that, I'd have taken it out them drawers with the locks on it and put everything in the safe and make them have to bust that safe open. Because that takes a lot of equipment and that's specialized. So, and it takes time to break into a safe. Hey, Joey, what's happening? I don't think I said what's happening to Joey.
You can't get too close to Michael, it's a foul.
So welcome, Joey. Welcome to come in. So that's how I would handle it. That's what I would do is, when I know I'm going out of town, I would take all the drawers out because their locks ain't as strong as that safe. And then let's see how they bring us. You got to have one of them big old hammers to break into safes. Ain't no more safe cracking listening to it. No, them motherfuckers better got to have them hammers and shit. And even the things about the little safes is you can bolt them to the floor. Like even if you got a smaller safe, you can still, like say you got a safe like only this big, you can still bolt that to the floor. Because a lot of people get like safes this big and most of them you can still bolt those to the floor too. If you get a safe like this big, get it where it bolt to the floor. Most of it is pretty sophisticated, so. And these places, it's like if there was a deputy there, they were very time sensitive. They knew his comings and goings because they had a team watching him. And they had a team. See, this is how you really do it is, okay, Joe Burrow is leaving probably Friday. So they starting to watch the house Thursday, Friday. They see his comings and goings. Sometime Saturday, they saw that deputy there. And they watch his comings and goings. And they was like, okay, he's going for dinner this time. He gonna be gone so long, we'll go in. So that's how people watch. When you watching people, you're supposed to be watching, but people be watching you. And so that's probably what happened in that situation. So, well, I'm not gonna go too long. I can't believe the other night I went for 3 hours. I was like, whoa, okay. But I want to thank everybody out there that watched my Saturday Night Live. Almost got 10,000 views, so I was quite surprised by that. The one called Biden turns crack into water. No, water into crack. So thank you everybody that checked that one out, and everybody that comes and watches my stuff. I'm very appreciative of it. I've never tried to sell you anything. I don't need donations. I don't mind them, but I don't need them. I appreciate the people that do, but it's not something I really need. I kind of got it, and it's like, I don't know. A lot of these people out here act like they ain't got it. It's like they need this. Okay, you should have it. So you don't need that. I bought this stuff because this is what I like to do. I like to come and I give freely. That's what I've said. If you watch me long, this channel has been going on 5 years. January to be 5 years. So that this channel, my other channel was from 14 to 20. So this channel is almost catching to the years that one had. That one, what's 6 years? 14, 20? Yeah, they killed that channel after 6 years. So I think I still had 4,000 or 5,000 subscribers back then, more than I got now. So, but it's not about that. It's about getting the message out, whoever the message is for. That's how I look at it. It's like whoever the message is for, and that's what I put it out there for. And it's like I am not one dimensional. It's like I can philosophize all night, but again, everybody didn't come in to watch me philosophize. It's like I don't make a lot of the longer videos about the fixed sports because I've got 4 years worth of work that you can go back and see. It's like, so it's proven already. It's proven already that sports are fixed. It's proven that there's magnets in basketball. Which I call basket manipulation. That's I've proved that. Isn't that what a scientific study is that you can prove something and it goes, you prove it over and over and over again. So I don't feel at this point, I got to point out every manipulated shot because you should be able to tell by now the people that listen to the information. Just like the magnets and the field goal, like Lobo did showed where the kick went into the goal post and then goes through. How often do we see kicks just hit the goal post and come out? And remember the kicker a few years ago in Chicago hit the goal post 5 straight kicks, missed all 5, but they hit the goal post. What's the odds that you can kick it so much that you can hit the goal post every time? But they bragged and said that kicker could hit the goal post every time. They bragged and said he did it in practice one time. He hit it every time. So that's on purpose, but more than likely it's magnets because it's attracting. Because you can see the kicks. The kicker come up straight, then that kicker go one way or the other. A lot of times they want to make them go left. That seems like it's easier to adjust them going left than going right, depending unless they're on that hash on the other side. And then they'll just make it, they'll make it go straight and then they'll hook it to the right. That seems to be how they have to do it. But going to the left, kicking to the left, our left, seems to be, watching TV left seems to be the easier way for them to do it. And all sports. Like Zach Hubbard had the best hockey goal I ever saw as far as manipulated a hockey puck, because the puck hits the board behind, hits the board to the right of the goalie, and bounces back. It hits the board, bounces back in front of the goal. It comes from to the right all the way around, and usually it stays on the board and goes around the board. No, this hits the board, ricochets off in front of the goalie. I mean, it goes directly in front of him, then gets by him. Explain that. How did it have momentum to go forward again? After bouncing off the wall, the momentum is going backwards. Or it'll stay on the wall. But no, this one has enough momentum to go backwards, and then just like somebody put a car in gear, it goes forward. That was one of the best catches Zach had. And we know golf balls. I mean, I've talked about it so many times that you can order on Amazon retrievable golf balls. They've been out probably 10 to 20 years now. Retrievable golf balls. You hit them in the rough. You probably can get it on, because used to come with a controller, but now you probably just on your phone and make it come back to you. And just like the grip gloves, Lorenzo I think it's on one of my older videos, even on this channel, where they show the grip gloves. They show them. They show the magnets inside of the ball, and they show high school players practicing with the grip gloves. And matter of fact, when I first saw the commercial, the first time I saw this, I saw a commercial that was a double commercial. Now, the one Lorenzo shared, I saw a commercial where it was just, they gave you one glove. They gave you one glove, and it was a grip glove, but it was just one glove. Now, that commercial that Lorenzo shared, it shows them getting two gloves. But the original one, I saw it first because it was two things they sold. They sold the bend 'em like Beckham ball. So, you could, the one was you could kick a soccer ball and the soccer ball would bend in. It was automatically set up where you put it to the right, put it to the left, it would bend when you kicked it. And it was a double commercial. It showed that, and then it went right into the single grip glove. Now, I think that commercial might have been on my other channel. But so this stuff is, and this is what? This is 5-6 years ago, maybe? This is nothing new. We see the technology. As I said, when they miss them, the gloves be turned off. That's all it is. It's some way they can turn that attraction off. So, and as you see, well, I guess you didn't really see good in the video, but maybe if you can go to Lobo's page, subscribe to him, and maybe you can find that video. I couldn't, looking through it now, I couldn't find it. So it's, it's been out there. And baseball is the easiest one, just because any pitcher can give up a hit anytime. Batting practice, if you've ever been early to a baseball game enough to see batting practice, you can see where they can hit and the home run derby is another example. If they want to serve up a home run, they serve up a home run. And what do they always say? Oh, it was a changeup. It's a changeup. You take it, even David, what is it named? Justice, the one that got the MVP this year that didn't have a good World Series. Even that cat, look how many times he strike out. How much he strikes out. And remember what I told you that I caught during COVID, during the Korean game, where the dude says if they can't hit the curve, the pitchers are told, don't throw them the curve. Right there, he admitted it. He admitted, don't throw the curve to the people because they can't hit it, so don't throw it to them. So pitchers would be dominant if they wanted to. If pitchers wanted to be dominant, they can be dominant. And the hitters wouldn't have a chance. I mean, you could look back at Bob Gibson and how he shut people down. I think they won the World Series in 66, 67, maybe 67. Then they lost it 68. And Bob Gibson didn't lose the game. He pitched 3 times and won all 3 of his games in both World Series. The one he won and the one he lost to the Tigers. He won 3 games. The other pitcher couldn't win 1 game, but he won 3. Matter of fact, because of Bob Gibson, they lowered the mound. The mound used to be higher. But because of Bob Gibson, they lowered it a couple feet. Look back at the old games and see how high the mound is. And you guys been catching the rap about Babe Ruth was probably a brother? Y'all been catching that rap? Look at it. He got a wide nose. His lips is kind of full. I have a picture, and I don't know if it's on Pinterest. I don't know where that picture is, but I have a picture where he is dark. He is super dark. And I don't know if I could find it or not. I'd have to look on my phone and see if I can find it one day. But he is super dark. Okay. I was wanted to talk about this anyway. Gosh, I'm looking for one thing. I don't know if I have to look to find the Babe Ruth, but I wanted to switch up. I was trying to, let me see. I don't know where I put them. I was trying to find those all blue shoes I had. Let's see, Sonny. Oh, here we go. Let's see. Is this? No. Go back. Because I was looking through, I was trying to find old shoes. It says 90 pins. Okay. Ah, here we go. Here we go. Okay. Here we go. I was trying to find the shoes I wore in the semi-pro league I played in and 89, 90. And the closest I can find is this color here. Mine was more of a solid shoe. That's why I think it's this one right here. And I think these are Ultra Force Lows. I think that's what these are. I think it's this shoe, but it was more this color blue, but it was all one solid shoe. But I think it's these because it wasn't really quite a high top, but that's what I think. I think it was more these, but it was this color. But it looks like this shoe. So I was trying to find that shoe. Almost like close to this one, but it didn't seem like it was as high. It was like more of a quarter shoe. So I kept trying to compare these shoes to it to see which one it was. So I was looking. Now what are these called? Yeah, these might have been just these Air Forces. That's what I'm thinking. But in that blue I showed it first, these Air Forces, it was a solid color, but that's what I think it was more this style here. Because I looked up 19, because the shoe would have been an 88, 89, 90 shoe. But I think it was this one, but all that blue. And on the court, it looked purple to people. Because they'd be like, who's that dude? The purple shoes killing everybody. It was just some last minute shoes I bought. Let's see. Nah, none of these. Now these are, what are these? Nike Air Force Hops. Now these are called Nike Air Force Hops. But these are nubuck, and they weren't nubuck. They were more of a all leather shoe. So I don't think they were quite these, but similar. More this height, this size. More this size. But I think this is older. So I don't think it was that one. And what is this called? Air Saber Flight Lows. Now it could have been these too. Air Saber Flight Lows. It could have been these. Could have been these. Not sure. But I was sitting here just looking, and I found them in a book. There was a Nike book of every Nike shoe, and I found them in that book, and I didn't memorize. I didn't memorize what they were. And now they're starting to bring these back. These were cold, especially the high tops. These are one of my favorite cons of leather cons. That was before they made the Dr. J's. And so now you can get them like this, which is smart for them to bring this shoe back. Just a single star. I love that shoe. I always thought that was a clever shoe. Oops. And these. When I was in 5th grade, when I played junior pro, and they brought these back too. And I have a picture I just found of Spencer Haywood wearing a high top pair of these, and I've never seen a high top pair of these before. But yeah, when these came out, I got a picture in my scrapbook of me wearing a pair of these. We was in the junior pro. I'm in Kentucky. I'm in Transylvania, Kentucky, wearing these right here. I remember when I got them. And the gold, you can tell these are old shoes because the gold looks kind of faded, but they've remade these. So, I've loved shoes for a long time. So I've got every right as a 60-year-old, I've watched shoes evolve. So I've got every right to wear what the fuck I want to wear. Do you guys remember the kangaroos? Walter Payton wore the football shoes. Yeah, I remember kangaroos. Oh, and they came out with a new colorway. Let's see if they show them. No, did they show? Oh yeah, they got the new colorway. This. I like these. This colorway came. Oh, these are the little kids. Okay, I think they got this in adult too. And the blue colorway is on maybe they'll show. The blue colorway is, where's the adult? Oh, this is just the children. You can get the blue colorway on StockX. They're out on StockX. For those of you that like that kind of thing. Kangaroos. Y'all remember them? Ponies. Pony and kangaroos. Pro Kids. Yeah, these are my looked just like this. Just like this. This was called suede, not nubuck. I don't know what the difference between nubuck and suede is. I don't know if there is a difference. Are these Ruse too? Are these Reeboks? What the? Oh, Spot Builts. These are Spot Built. No, Saganis. I think they're Spot Builts. Yeah, Spot Built. Spot Built made football shoes. I did not know they made basketball shoes. But yeah, this is they were a football shoes. My early football cleats were Spot Builts. Yep, Spot Builts. You know, oh, and these, I love these. I've talked about these before. I had the red pair, I had the high tops, the red pair and the blue pair. And when the red and blue pair, when they got wet, sweated, your socks would be the same color as the dye in the shoe. But I love playing in Pro Kids. My senior year in high school, I played in Canvas Pro Kids with a thick collar. So, I'm just a sports junkie, y'all. I'm sorry. I get enthusiastic about clothes and everything. I get enthusiastic about that. Okay, I'll try to philosophize if I can stay on point. It's so many things that, are in the world. It's like even now, what we see this system has done, this system tries to appease everybody. So like I mentioned before, when you go into Christmas trees, that's a pagan thing that comes from the Germans. To put ferns in your house comes from the Germans. And the stockings is the only true thing from St. Nicholas, who started it all. He was the first one to really give gifts to children, And then we've, of course, got the stories of Krampus, where Krampus, that's why they say that the not nice, the naughty, not nice children is the Krampus story. And that's why Krampus is in the red one. He plays kind of a half villain in the red one. Again, these are all pagan stories. And so it's no way that if it was a savior, it was no way he would have been born on the 25th, because they tell you that shepherds come in. And in that part of the country, the shepherds would come in the fall or early spring. I think it's spring. But I think it's September. They said if it was possible and the person was alive and was a real person, that it would have been more like September. So then it's so many other people. Mirthra, like the dude arguing Billy Carson, trying to say no one else was born. No, Mithra was born on the 25th. It's so many. Krishna. I mean, you'd have to be an idiot not to think all these stories were similar. And that dude that's going at it with Billy Carson, he's not admitting that these stories, it's all copied from these other stories. There's no way you can't consider that. I'm sorry, I don't mean to call anybody stupid. Please forgive me for that. But what I'm saying is you can't be fooled into thinking these other stories aren't similar. And they're older. Mithra's story is older. His story is older. Krishna's story is older. Krishna's story is probably even older than Mithra's story. And so is it a coincidence that this story is the same story? And bringing people back from the dead was shown in the Old Testament. Elijah is two people that come back from the dead in the Old Testament. So again, this is things taken when he heals Lazarus and brings Lazarus back from the dead. But again, what do they teach you? Lazarus gets killed almost immediately. So And then there's so many other names of the being that it could be, because the true meaning of it is love. You know, they put out real parts, love each other. It's the source in you. You know, your connection to source. That's all it is whatever your connection to source is. And so whatever that is, it's your connection. You dig? And it's like my wife prays before every meal because she's a believer. She has faith. And that's not negative, because if you sit here, and the experiments show you, if you sit here and tell the water you love it, the water react different when you drink it. Or if you tell the water that you hate it, chemically it will act different. But if you tell this water I love you and I'm so thankful for you, chemically it will react different to you. So they fooled people for years. It's hard for me to tell my mom and dad. Yeah, exactly. And I mean, all you got to do is study the stuff. And that's where the guy is wrong, because he tried to bring that point up. Who else was born at that date? Several people, buddy. It's several lists that showed a list of people, and it's almost identical. And I probably got it on Pinterest, those lists. You can see a list of people that was born on that day. So, and it was really wrong. Like Dick Gregory said, if you think about, you know, how relations in America is, it is a part of European occupation to say that this miracle is going to happen by this European coming to your house with little European elves. So it's the same kind of occupation story to make you believe that it can't, this magic can't happen because your parents working hard. It can only happen by this Kris Kringle character that Coke pushed more in the 20s and 30s, adding the bear to it. So, and it's a vehicle of repression in a way. Because it teaches you, it teaches your children not to believe you because you're lying to your children. Teaches you to lie to your children. And it's society-wide lie. You know, if your child asks you, you're almost like bound to keep the magic alive, keep them believing alive. I mean, when do most children find out? Third, fourth grade? But up to that point, you lied to them. So how do they trust you? That's why you look at the trust issues. When children start to become teenagers, they think, damn, they lied to me all. Not only did my parents lie to me, my whole family lied to me. Not just my parents, everybody lied to me. The teachers lied to me. All my relatives, my friends, everybody lied to me. Till I had to figure it out on myself, on my own, what's going on. Now, there's nothing wrong with exchanging gifts. There's nothing wrong with spoiling your children. I mean, that's what we're conditioned to do. We spoil our children. We buy our children these things, and then we complain when we never see them, and all they do is mess with these things. These things is just as addictive to any drug, maybe even more. I mean, how easy it is to just kill an hour just reading, looking at shit, listening to shit. But we buy them these, and we buy them the consoles because that makes us look like good parents. That strokes our ego. They ask your child, do you have this? Yeah, I got one. My dad got me one. You know, that's kind of how it works. Yeah, my parents bought me a system. And, we want to stay up with everybody else. We want our children to be on top of everything. Why you think they made a comedy out of that Dear Santa movie and mistaking it for Satan? Exactly. Because it is based on a lie. It is based on a lie. That's why, the Krampus comes in there. It's like, they're telling the German children, hey, if you don't behave, this motherfucker's come and snatch you out the house, and we gonna let him. That's the Krampus story. We gonna let him snatch you out the house because you bad little motherfuckers, You go get snatched up. So, I don't know. Do it any way you want it. Do it any way you want it. I mean, the main belief should be in yourself and the love you have inside of you. Because love is supreme, and that operates the highest vibration. And, I hate to say it because this witch, I'll start seeing pictures of her when I say her stuff, but the witch is right. Love or above. That's, the vibration you want to keep is love. And the longer you can keep that love vibration, I mean, everything falls into place because of that high vibration from you coming from that vibration of love. And that's what lucid living talks about. When they talk about lucid living, that's what he's talking about, is living in the moment. Be here now. Don't think about the past. Don't think about the future. Be here now. And love now. Jamar, what's happening? I think, Jamar, I said what's happening to you earlier. Or did you just come in?
You can't get too close to Michael. It's a foul.
Thank you for coming. And so that's the key is the love and the connection to you, the source energy. That's all. Now, when people say, do you believe in a higher power? No, I believe in source energy. I believe in source energy because that is something I can experience. When I meditate, that's what you go into. When you call the ethers or the astros, that's what's real. I mean, that is really what's real. That what you see of just fractals, colors, that's more real than this. That's real. This is pretty much illusional. We're stuck in a mass psychosis illusion because we have to believe in it. Like I've said before, when you wake up, the programming starts that it goes back into Dark City, that you believe that this is your bed, that this is your house, that the cars is out there in the garage, your clothes in the closet. I mean, you have to tell yourself, and you tell yourself subconsciously that, oh, this is real. Because sometimes I woke up and like, man, what the fuck is this shit? It ain't happened since I got sick, but it's like times before I'm like, what the fuck is this shit? And as I said before, I've broken into something that it is the thinnest veil of the thin, and it is like, whoa, it's interesting the different layers that you can get into. This new thing is like, wow, it is so thin. And your vibration has to be like, you really have to be, like a crystal, almost phasing. Because crystals pretty much phase. They vibrate, but they vibrate at such a fast motion that you can't see it. It's like, even though this feels solid in my hand, this is vibrating constantly, never stops. And it's almost like there's something out there that you can get into, and it's like you gotta be vibrating really quick, really high, and it's light. It's like when you astral travel, that doesn't feel light. Even though you're using your astral body, it doesn't really feel light. It is something out there that it changes all that perception. It is like the thinnest, it's like a thin slice of paper or something. It's like, it's almost, I can't say you can't really see through it. It's not that, but it is, I don't know, that feeling of the thinness of it is, I mean, that's the only way I can describe it. It's like, I've just recently in the last month been hitting that. The first time it was like, whoa, where did this come from? I mean, it was really that like surprised, like, ooh, I got into it. And it was like, whoa, where did this come from? Because the whole feeling of it was different. Everything was different about it than just my normal meditations. It's like, and now I've like hit little pockets of it every now and then. I was like, that's that. So the more I understand it, the more I can kind of, what to say? I'm up late working overtime at my job. Oh yeah, definitely get that money. And I guess in a way I'm working. I don't get paid very much for doing this, but I guess it's in a way I'm working too. But yeah, get it while the getting is good, as Too Short says. But find happiness. Well, not happiness. Find joy and bliss. Like my wife's smile, just there's nothing like it in the world. It's two things that I love about her. I love her smile and I love her voice. I mean, it's like I can still hear my great grandparents' voice, but I think there'll never be a time I won't hear her voice. Like her voice is something that I'm so attached and attracted to. And then her smile, just even if I'm mad and whatever, just to see her smile and the way she looks at life. You know, we got into it. It's like we argued the whole presidential election thing. And we not arguing about us. We arguing about philosophy, you know, political philosophies. That's what we argued about. And she's so compassionate, you know. So I'm kind of glad that's over because, you know, the way I feel is the way I feel. I'm a very straightforward person, not full of a lot of bullshit, and I say how I feel. You know, and it's like some of the in-laws is upset, but they ain't gonna talk about it. They don't really talk about it, you know. They talk about it behind my back and to each other, but they're not gonna say shit to me. And it's, you know, I don't care. Like me and my mother go at it on Facebook, but when we talk, who cares? That's the thing. Is, you know, it's like I can talk about, you know, this political shit, but when it comes down to me seeing people personally, who cares? Some people can't leave it there. You know, they got to take it everywhere with them. Oh, okay, I can get upset about this again. Oh, so it kind of amazes me. Where's this shit at? I don't really feel like doing it. Kind of amazes me though, at the way people go at it. I'm glad that shit's over too. Now the diddler and Jigga shit showing his head. Yeah, well, again, they got to distract you. And all distraction is to make you not think about yourself. That's what distraction is. Is to make you think not about yourself, to make you think outside of yourself. And it's like, you know, the Facebook gossipers that read Facebook and read all the gossip stuff and all the social media that they can get their gossip for so they can be popular when everybody gets together. So they got something to say to get attention. Because that's how people do and want attention. You know, I know about this. Hey, did you hear about this? They're seeking attention. I mean, I add my little 2 cents every now and then, but most of the time I don't need that attention. I've had more attention in my life than what I need. So it's not something I go to seek. I don't seek this for attention. I enjoy doing it. I enjoy giving out advice as a 63-year-old brother, you know, and what I went through. And, you know, being a parent, I'm still a parent of a teenager. And I'm a parent of a 35-year-old. My oldest is 35. Was it 35, 29, 20, 29, 27, 21, no, 22, no, 23, 22, 18, soon to be 19, and 13. And then my daughter just turned yesterday, my oldest daughter just turned 34. The daughter I didn't raise, she just turned 34, which gladly she lets me be part of her life on Facebook, which, you know, I ain't knocking it. Thank you. Thank you for letting me watch you. And thank you for letting me watch, you know, which is my grandchildren. So I appreciate that she lets me stay and watch them grow up, watch her grow, watch her marriage grow. I appreciate that. So, and I do, you know, I don't have a lot of regrets, but I do regret not fighting for her. I regret that. You know, I'm thinking I'm saving money, not paying child support. Well, it would have been worth paying child support to see her and watch her grow up. It would have been worth that. Definitely. So, but yeah, that's what the distractions are for. So you're not thinking about yourself. You're not thinking about your future. You know, you're getting caught up in something that who cares? Ain't got nothing to do with you. Oh, that's so true. I hear all the people at work talking about all the celebrity bullshit that I don't care about. Exactly. It's like, why, if I met one of my old teammates, why would I talk about other people instead of talking about our experiences? How are your family doing? How you doing? This is what I care about. I care about the people. I don't care about people I don't know. So, and 2 grandsons, 2 granddaughters, and 2 let's see, 32, 20, 24, 22, 22, 12, 32, 26, 24, 22, 22, 12, 2 grandsons and 2 granddaughters. See, I don't, other than my oldest daughter, none of my boys have children. My oldest son at 35, I doubt. I think his girl has political aspirations. So I don't think, I don't know, because they're 35 years old. The only good thing about having children as you get older is you become more patient. That's the only good thing. But the other part is you know, when they're young, you got to have energy too. And when they're young, you got to have a lot of energy, a lot more energy. And in a way, it keeps you young because you know about things you wouldn't normally know about. So it does keep you kind of young in a way. So, yeah. Well, let me see. Am I at 2 hours? Yeah, I'm at 2 hours. So I didn't want to, I guess I'll just philosophize just a few minutes more and kill it. And so find the light in you. Find the spark in you. I say meditate because learn to turn off other voices in your head. Turn them all off, really. That's really the most healthy way, that the only voice you should hear in your head is yours. Because again, when you get attachments, and if you don't know how to, relieve attachments, I mean, really, incense. Wow, I can see the moon. The moon is shining bright through the window. Wow. Okay. Everything's soaking it up. I know we got a full moon coming. But yeah, incense, sweetgrass, sage can get rid of attachments. When's the next new moon? I know the full moon is coming. Okay, so I do a show anyway Sunday. So actually it's the peak is going to be 4:30 in the morning. So that's going to be Saturday, Sunday, early Sunday morning, late Saturday night actually. So the 15th. So I'm coming on anyway. So I'll just add the meditation, figure a way to get into my account. I got to recover account, whatever, to get into my account because it cut it off some reason. Yeah, because that 12-year-old made me a fall school party that invited the parents with them, and geez, I was tired afterward. Got to go to a fall school party. Oh, okay, yeah. I was glad. I imagine sometime I might have to go to a father-daughter dance. I don't know. I don't know if they have that in junior high. And that's the other thing, she'll be in high school next year, and it's like, she's starting to change, it's like, but then it's dealing with dudes and stuff, because she talks about one of her best friends has a boyfriend. Oh, and she went on a little bullshit date, but she goes to this thing called Valley Fair, which is amusement park. And it was kind of like a double date. They ain't tell me that, I heard it later, is that her best friend met her boyfriend at the park, and her boyfriend brought a friend. So it was kind of like a little double date. So, but she's got a good head on her shoulders. She's got 5 brothers, her youngest, the one she's closest to, that's 22, that's going to be pretty much a yard mark for her. She's like, yeah, if you're not at least like him or my dad, yeah, I'm not fucking with you. I think that's going to be, because she's been around me her whole life, really. I get her religiously every weekend, every other weekend, sometime weeks. So, I get her a lot. The only reason I don't see her as much this year is because she's not doing baton. But when she's doing baton, that was Tuesdays and Thursdays, that we did baton. So she's no longer doing that. So I don't see her quite as much as I would, when she was practice. So I do kind of miss that. I don't miss the driving, but I miss that part of seeing her. And I have a lot more patience with her, than what I had with them boys. And she ain't bad as my boys. My two youngest boys, shit, you couldn't have took them niggas anywhere. I mean, my youngest would really try to hold the family hostage to go somewhere. He would climb up on the roof and shit. And I'd have to send the other 2 boys up to get his ass. They would beat him up. My oldest son would beat him up while dragging him off the roof. I don't know how safe that was, but that's what he would do. He was like, I don't want to go. It was some shit where we ain't got no babysitter to stay home. He was too young to stay home by himself. So we used to have to go through all that shit with him. They're changing. They changing. Gets attached to my daughter. Is it me? She does some breaking away now. It's kind of sad. Well, yeah, and you know, like 12 years old. You saw it too. It's like what daughters need from us when they're little is that physical thing, and then boys need it too. But daughters especially, where the wrestling. You know, the wrestling, slamming. I would do the backbreaker on her, pick her up, be like, backbreaker on her, you know, and just that physical thing little girls need. They really need that from a man, from their father. And, you know, of course, when her brothers would play, they would play with her the same way I taught them to play. You know, they're picking her up, spinning her around. I mean, she was a baby. I could throw her in there and catch her, and she thought that was the funnest thing in the world. And it when it changes, that is sad. It changes that physical relationship that you had by her needing to be held, needing to be played with, tickled, held. That kind of changes. And that's a sad changing that the parent goes through. Because here you had this really tight bond, and it's just because they're older, it's just it goes away. And it's not that it goes away, it changes. That bond of that father-daughter, you know, it's not that physical play with them, tickle them kind of bond anymore. That kind of breaks away because you've given them enough. And that's what it is. It's like you've given them enough. You know, whatever they craved at that age, you fulfilled it. And so that's why. And I think it really, you know, that gives a child balance, I think, especially girls. That gives a balance that they have that in life with their fathers, where they grow up, you know, being close to their fathers and affectionate to their fathers and used to being held and, you know, tackled and body slammed and just playing with them, you know, just playing with them. And boys, you know, that never ends because you always fight and wrestle with your boys. My son and I slap box and play and stuff. Well, not since he broke his arm too much, but still, you know, it's the physical thing with the boys never really go away because you play basketball and stuff, you still forearming and stuff. So that kind of doesn't go away with boys, sons. But with the girls, yeah, it's a sad thing. That change is sad for us. Because just as much as when we play with them that they get out of it, we get out of it too. Just, you know, and if after a while, you know, you get tired of swinging them in your arms back and forth, you know, but yet when it ends, you kind of wish it lasts forever. Just that joy of swinging your daughter, hugging your daughter, you know, that joy that you get and the joy that you create together. And that gets sad. That's a sad, to go through that. It's like you kind of have to step back and you have to change your behavior with them. So one thing that doesn't change, that cracks me up, is that if she hears me leaving out the door on my days off, she's right behind me. She's been doing that since the beginning. She's like, hey, you going, I'm going. Yeah, I could dig that. And it's just amazing to watch people grow. You know, being 63, you know, I've watched so many people grow and change. You know, watching your parents grow. My mother's about to be 84 this year, and seeing her get old, seeing her turn into my grandmother, you know, because my grandmother was 45 when I was, you know, when I was born. She's around 43, 40, well, let me see, 15 to 61. Yeah, it's roughly 40 years. Because my mother's 20 years older than me, and I think my grandmother was, well, my mother was born in 41, so my grandmother was born in 15. You got what, 25, 35. So she was in 37, 38. So, you know, you take 61 to that. So yeah, she was probably in her 40s when I was born. And then my grandmother died at 91, you know, but I knew my great grandparents too, you know, both born in 1800s. I knew both of them during my life. And my father's grandmother. My father's grandfather died in 1959 before I was born. But his wife, she was like, when they got married, he was 30 and she was 15 when they got married. And he had to pay her father 100 acres land that they could build a school on. And that's how much land my people used to have for him to just, hey, I want her 100 acres. Now you'd be lucky to get an acre. For her, I'll give it, you can get an acre in the back. But the life goes so quick. I mean, that's the thing, and you don't really get replays. And that's when when they started to say it all starts with a gentle sadness. You don't get the replays. It's like you lived it out and you made the decision, and that's it. There's no going back. The decision is the decision. And as they say, that I heard someone say this on TV, so they read what I've been reading. They read Robert Heinlein, but the days are long, but the years are short. And that's the best time spell I can give you. The days are long, but the years are short. I mean, I swear the days are long, and I've said this many times. The days are so long that I'm still in North Carolina back in 1981, out on a hot August afternoon, working for the water department, working those sewer rotters. I'm still out there. I mean, that's how long them days was. I'm still standing out there back in 1981, waiting for the day to end. But yeah, the days are long, but the years are short. That's from Robert Heinlein. Heinlein, I think it's how you say his name. And so it's just accept it. Just accept it and love the day. Love the moment. I mean, love the moment, because moment is all we have. That's all we have is the moment. So love the moment. It's like it's not happening today. Why worry about it? Is it happening right now at this moment? And if it's not, why worry about it? Because it's not happening right now. So I'm going to give the divination. Oh. So the Mayan calendar. The Mayan calendar is right here. All right, we've got 13 cartoons, 13 batoons, 0 cartoons, 12 tunes, 2 unals, and 14 kin. The token date is 10 Ix, and the Habab date is 17 Mach. Lord of the Night is God number 7. And day 14. Oh, let's give both. Let's give both. So in the Mayan, day 14 would be considered Ik, which I just read. This is one of my favorite glyphs, right? Ik. When I used to write the glyphs, that was one of my funnest ones to write. So it'd be Ik. And Ik is the saucer, the jaguar, feline energy, the night seer, attachment of magical powers, the highest level of individual consciousness developed, and the energy is coming from the north today. So, and to me, that should like Muslims should pray like that. They should pray in the energy of really the way it is the given day. Now they tell you most of the time pray to the east anyway. Head being in you should face the north when you lay down. Face the north. Tibetan Book of the Dead says your head should rest in the east, but some other information comes out and says you should face the north as you lay. And so as Ik was, and then this is Toltec. So, the Toltec, that other came from the Mayan, but this is the Toltec. And this is the card. Again, it is the same as Ik. You see the 2 slashes are 5, 2 5s, and we got 4. And you see the jaguar there too. All right. Ocelot is another word. The great power of the jaguar. Equally great is its responsibility. Wandering around, wandering alone, having an entire world not to own, but to keep a balance. Being the strongest and most powerful hunter among all animals known on the American continent, the jaguar was destined to call the attention of the Toltec, who were devoted to watching the world of nature. Together with the serpent Kato and the eagle Katola, the jaguar belongs to a sacred triad of animal spirits that were highly regarded in the Toltec tradition. Being associated with the power of the jaguar mattered a great deal for the ancient Toltec. The popular stories about the fierce and courageous Eagle knights and jaguar knights in ancient time have the trace of truth. They were lineage of eagle and jaguar warriors who would eventually serve as defenders, as well as having mystical powers, which would be a Yano Yani. Fortunately, the ideas related to the military-oriented Aztec warriors are so widespread it's difficult to make a distinction between those popular belligerent individuals and qualities of more ancient Toltec warriors of the spirit. The fact that the jaguar was not seen as a violent animal at all. It was not known as an invader, murderer, enemy. On the contrary, its strength was seen as coming from its deep nature of harmony with the world of nature, and the visible forces sustain it. In this way, the image of the jaguar is not only the image of the power, but also the image of harmony and life balance. In this card, we see the jaguar sitting on a throne, its expression, its high position, the Toltec mystical vision. On the top, we see the number 14, blah, blah, blah. The meaning of all select comes from the nature of jaguars perceived within the Toltec perspective. It encompasses strength, hunting, power, balance, harmony, stalking, patience, capacity for keen observation, beauty, flexibility, and magic. If you get the jaguar card, you are meant to adapt the features of this powerful animal to deal with your world. You would like to be a hunter who watches his own territory with all sense alert in the quest for prey, but like a jaguar, you won't take more than what you need. Your role as hunter will contribute to the larger scheme of balancing the elements in your world, which are all interrelated. To be able to do this, you will need something much more powerful than a physical force. You'll need the magical power of the jaguar. The real power of the jaguar's magic does not come from its physical strength, but from living in harmony with its own world and role in nature, helping to sustain the equilibrium among all living beings of its environment. The jaguar never uses this power to abuse or take anything but what it needs. The magical power of the jaguar comes from Kanam, which is the power that arises from harmonizing opposites. In order to survive, to live as a lonely hunter, Ostial has to be in harmony with everything, including its prey. That is the strength. If you being called to develop a strength comes from being in equilibrium with everything around you. Balance. It may take you entire lifetime to develop the power to the maximum, but at your maximum, but that is your destiny. So, Ick or Jaguar is the card for tonight. And if I said, in all my Animal Quest, being a bird is cool, being an eagle is cool, flying is cool, but and I know when you're a bird you have a greater hunting area and all that, but I don't know, to transfer into that big cat, and I've said this many times, but that was to me the best shape shifting was to be a cat, especially being a panther jaguar is it to me that was, to be able to see clearly in the night, to be able to smell basically 100 miles in each direction. Basically to be able to smell 100 miles in each direction when you mark your territory, you can smell where everything that comes in that ain't your smell. Because that's what a cat does. It claws and it marks. It lets motherfuckers know this is my shit. And to have a square mileage of 100 miles and be able to go, not take you that long to run that 100 miles, rest and get there in a decent time to see what the fuck is there. And then to kill a deer and then to pick that motherfucker up and be able to run to your cave to where all your feline and your children are. Just dump that big deer off to them. But to have the strength to be able to run to that big as that deer is, to be able to take a big bite of it and then run through the jungle, hold that motherfucker. To me, that was funner than being a eagle. I thought that was funner than being an eagle. I respected that energy better than the eagle energy. I respected that a lot more. I enjoyed it, other than being a buffalo and running. That's a thing in itself, to be a buffalo and just run with the herd and understand if you get caught, and so the herd will get away because in numbers they're coming after you. So if they're coming after you, you sacrifice yourself so the rest of the herd can get away. And so that's quite a noble feeling, but to be that buffalo too, that power, and just to freely run and be that strong, I enjoyed that too. To feel the best thing of being a buffalo is to feel the way the heart beats while you're the buffalo. That is, I can't even describe that. That is such a joyous feeling. How strong that heart feels, and that when you transform into that animal, that is, yeah, that's quite something. That's what it's hard to express it, but that is like, that was the first thing I noticed, is how good the heart felt being a buffalo and just freely running. I mean, that, I don't know. So, all right. Well, I think this is it. No, I went 2.5 hours. So again, thank you for whoever's watching the Saturday Night Live stuff. For some reason, this is what it wants me to make. So hell, I'll do it. I don't care. I'll sit there and make a few little Saturday Night Live videos. And I'll still point out the sports when I can. It's just, it seems to get old. It seems like I'm beating a dead horse when I keep showing the basket manipulation stuff and the grip glove stuff, because I put out so much content that it's like it gets repetitive after a while. So I'll be back Sunday. Remember, Sunday we'll do the full moon too. We end up doing the full moon ritual on Sunday. So those of you that want to do the meditation, get your own candles, get your own sage, crystals, whatever you want to use, get that. That'll help. Nice quiet place. And when I let the one divineness start chopping, if you want to get into her, get in a nice quiet place. And she really, she has no harm. She'll just take you in a nice clear place. And we'll all get in the energy. And then I'll come back on the solstice, because like right now, gosh, I guess I can go a few minutes more. So right now we are in the long nights. Remember, the 21st is when winter starts. So technically it's still fall. It's late fall right now. It's not winter. Even though out there that -5 shit feels like winter, but it's not. But what's so glorious about this time of year leading into solstice, we are in the dark nights. And what's beautiful about this time of year is the meditation time, because it is dark so long. It is a great time to celebrate the dark. Celebrate the dark. There's a lot of energy that's to be had because it is dark all the time. And that's not saying anything about dark energy. It's just saying this is a good time to feed yourself the energy that is available that comes with the night. Feed yourself what is available that comes with the night. So I've had some of my deepest experiences, this type of year. And like the opposite of this type of year is May, when we have the long days. Because as soon as the solstice hits, the days start getting slowly longer, and then they build up until the 21st of June, when then we see this pattern of dark again. And up here, it gets dark about 4:30, because we're on Central Time. And so get into yourself, if you have time one of these evenings, get into yourself, set up your candles, sage, incense, and get into the night. And I might meditate when I get done doing this. That's what I think I'm gonna do. I meditated earlier, but I might take 20, 30 minutes to meditate again, just because it is, it is the long dark. So revel in it, I say. Well, thank you. I appreciate it. I appreciate all the people that watched that Biden turns crack water into crack. Thank you guys for watching that shit.